want to give you guys some info on filling up motorcycle batteries. Now, this can seem like a daunting task when you buy a new motorcycle battery because they take acid. You got to put it in yourself usually on the regular type of motorcycle batteries. Now, on this one, this is straight out of the box here. This is a new core, okay? And there are two different types. This acid goes to this one. You can see it sort of self-fills, so that we're just going to put that on there, and that foil is going to pop, and it's going to fill itself up. Then there's another kind where there's one on this bike. I don't feel like taking it off. This kind of battery actually has these little caps in here. It's hard to see, but you can actually just take those caps off individually, and it's clear, so you can actually see how much acid you have in there. And what you do is it comes with a thing like this and a little hose, and you put the hose in there and you squirt it out and fill it up individually until they're at the right level. Now, I'm not quite sure why there's those two different designs, but I do believe that possibly the acid that's being used in these batteries is less potent than this stuff that is used here, where they have a different dispensary system. And once you seal this one up, you're not really supposed to open it back up, and you don't adjust the levels, or you can't see the levels. You just put this in and that's it. So they're both sulfuric acid, but I believe maybe the concentration is higher on these ones. So yeah, you can see sulfuric acid. And I've actually gotten this kind on my skin a couple times. You want to go wash it off fairly quickly. I mean, it really doesn't burn that bad or anything. Now this kind and this kind, like I said, I think it's more concentrated, so definitely something you want to be cautious about. But it's relatively safe to do. You don't need to be scared of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this one up here, since I gotta do this anyways, and show you how this type works. Alright, so this is relatively self-explanatory. Like I said, we're just gonna take this, pop it on here, and it'll self-fill. This, I'm gonna push down on it. There it goes. It's gonna fill itself up. You see the bubbles coming up here. When that's done, we've got a little piece we're gonna put over the top of this and seal it up. Alright, this stuff stopped draining. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it off. Alright, we discard this. And then it comes with this little cap on this type of battery, so we gotta put this on here. This can be pretty tricky. There we go. That one went in pretty easy. So there it goes. Then here's one of these other kind of batteries I'm talking about, where you gotta actually fill each individual cell yourself. So you start by pulling these top little caps off. They just unscrew. Once you get those off, you can fill it up. And these batteries are clear, so you can see where the battery acid is supposed to go, up to those, in between those lines. Here is our container of the electrolyte, or the battery acid. Just going to cut this off. Attempt to, at least, with a very dull blade. Alright. Got that cut off, and then it comes with this little tube. I'm gonna stick that over it. Alright, so just gonna start filling this up here. Start filling this up here. You can see the first cell. And it goes down. It looks fuller. It usually looks fuller than they are at first. So we'll just move along here. It's really impossible not to get some of this battery acid in a place or two when you're moving the straw around, but whatever. Try to keep it off your skin. Like I said, if you get it on your skin, just go wash it off real quick. You'll be alright. All right, so I got all the cells topped off. I might have went a little high on some of these, but that's all right. These are vented, so you definitely want to remember to take this off. This little cap here, that'll release any extra pressure from the case of this battery. You just want to put all the little screw guys back in at the top and tighten these down. Okay, so once you put the electrolyte in the battery, you definitely want to charge it up. The battery will actually have a charge immediately right when you put that electrolyte in, and it may even start your bike up, but you're gonna severely wear the battery down by doing that, by not charging it up first. And if you have an actual battery charger like this, you want it on the 2 amp setting, the lowest setting for this. If you put it on the 6 amp, this battery's gonna get real hot. I mean, it'll get hot anyways if you don't charge it, and it'll build up some pressure in there and it'll probably bulge out. That one doesn't have a vent on it like these ones do. You can see this red tube here. These ones are actually vented for that, for when they heat up. These ones aren't. And the other thing is, if you don't have an actual battery charger, you don't want to spend the money on it. You could get a trickle charger like this, also from from Harbor Freight. These are real cheap, under 10 bucks or so, maybe 12 bucks. But it's basically just a float charger is what they call it, trickle charger. And you would want this on overnight on the battery at least. So at 2 amps though, give that a couple hours, it'll be good to go. And one final battery tip I got for you. I've never done it with that type of battery. I've never tried to take this back off. I'm sure you could, but once those are done, they're trash. But with these types of batteries, where they got the little screws, I have actually successfully taken one that was real weak and taken those screws off and emptied out this electrolyte in here, and went and bought a new thing of electrolyte, the acid from Advanced Auto Parts or something. They'll sell just this. They'll sell you just this. Put new electrolyte in this and revive the battery. So I have done that. That's a little trick, you know, if you're real hard up and you think the battery is probably okay, you think the battery core is probably okay, which they usually are. Usually the electrolyte just wears out, and that's when they get weak. But if you have one that's totally dead and you're getting nothing from it, yeah, just scrap it. But if it's getting weak and you don't want to spend the money on one, you can possibly revive it that way if you empty out the acid and put new acid in. But like I said, with this one, replacing this in the Shadow I just got outside, and the one that was in there was totally dead. I was getting nothing from it, so I'll let that charge up. And that's how you put acid in a motorcycle battery.